Hi, welcome to Johnny Works. Today we are going to trim the inside of this window, okay? Brand new window put in, double window. We're gonna do brand new sill. We're gonna do brand new trim around this thing, wrap it up, make it look beautiful. Before I do any of that, I need to fill this, all this around the edges. I need to fill all that with foam. Okay, this thing does no bows. It says no bows, so it's not supposed to expand so much that it crushes your window in and makes it hard to open, okay? It's not supposed to do that. It just fills the gap and stops. All right, so I left all my shims in, did my foam. Once this stuff hardens up and it's nice and solid, then I'll cut my shims off, okay? I'm gonna leave the shims sticking out just shy of the drywall, so that way when I do my sill, I'm gonna sit my sill right on the shims, okay? And if it's level, I'll leave it. If it's not level, then I can always shim it up a little more or less. I can take a shim out if I need it, and make sure my sill is nice and level, looks nice and straight, okay? A little bit of pain in the ass, but gotta have patience. Yeah, patience. Have some patience. I say. Come over here, I'll show you. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get over it. Alright, from the edge of my window to the face of my wall, there's a space, okay? Take my straight edge, which is actually my speed square. I set it flat on my wall, and I slide it over. And I take my tape measure. Hold on, yeah, that looks better. Then I take my tape measure, I put it against my window, and I measure from here to here. That's going to be my rip. That's going to make my extension jam. So I'll have a wide piece of board, run it through my table saw, rip it to I got 1 1/16 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the sill, put that on. And then these pieces that I talked about on the jams, those will sit on top of my sill. I'll say 67.5. And then I'm gonna add 6 inches to that. That will give me an overall length, okay? That when I notch it, I'll have a 3-inch overhang, a 3-inch overhang on each side, okay? And that thing will sit in tight. And I also have to notch this out because there's 2 windows, but one piece sill, okay? So I need a notch, 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 notch. My tape, 73.25. All right, so I ended up ripping this board 2.5 inches. So everything else is the same. Get that notch in there, notch in the middle, notch on the end. Done. Now we just sand it out, make it look beautiful, carry it up, try it out, make sure it works. If it doesn't work, throw it out the window, cry myself to sleep, and start over. Here's my piece. Okay? Here's my piece, everybody. Notched out the center, notched out on each end. Moment of truth. Oh boy. All right, geniuses, make sure you get glasses on. Also, using a table saw, use one of these when you get close to the blade. If you don't have one of these, use a stick or a piece of 2x4, something that you don't have to put your fingers near this blade, because you will lose your fingers, and then you can't do stuff like airbase, like Lemmy. Okay, anyway. I already put this side in. Of course I already checked this side. I'm putting it in right now. I'm pretending that I didn't check already. I already checked. When I nailed through the sides and the top, I made sure I pulled it out so it was flush with the wall, okay? Things aren't in there perfectly square. Drywall might have a little mud extra or whatever, so I got a little gap going around this edge, okay? Might be a little bigger in some spots and a little tighter in other spots, but that, my friend, is where you do your caulking, okay? I'll caulk all the way around this thing because the window is already insulated all the way around the outside, so now I'll just do my caulking around my trim, okay? Shouldn't feel any draft anyway because of the insulation, but it helps. Also, typical reveal, 1/4 inch, okay? What that means is I'm gonna take my trim, watch this. I'm gonna take my trim, which is not this. I'm gonna hold it back 1/4 inch from this edge. So basically, pretend this was my trim. I'm gonna hold it back about 1/4 inch, okay? And I'm gonna use this thing to make a couple marks, and then I'm gonna square a line down. When I get my trim cut, I'll put it on that mark, so it comes around the corner and it stays back a little bit, okay? I measure right on the sill, right up to that cross, which is 34 1/4. Square cut on the bottom, 34 1/4 right there starts the bottom part of my, basically they call it a short point, okay? I put my thing on the table saw and I mark a 45 and I cut a 45-degree angle, okay? I do have a video of how to do 45-degree angles. It's not really that hard. Once you do it once, you're pretty good. So a little practice to make it look pretty, but it's pretty easy to do a 45, simple. All right, so for this part right here, I've got 4 1/2 inches in the middle. Instead of one window, I have 2 windows, okay? Now if my trim was flat, square edge, flat, same all around, I could just put a piece of trim all the way up, run the top all the way over and have it just sit on it. But I have colonial trim, which is wider on one end and then it tapers skinnier towards the inside, okay? A lot of people have in old houses, nothing fancy. But that I'm gonna have to cut 2 individual pieces, one for that window, one for this window, okay? I'm gonna have to rip them because I think they're a little bit wider, 2 3/4, something like that. I need them to be 2 1/4. So I'm gonna have to rip a little bit off, which means cut it the long way, all the way off, then get my measurement from the top, find my 45, and have one on each side. Now, if you're a beginner, which is kind of who I'm catering to, it's always better to cut long than to cut exact. Cut exact and you end up short, you're what they call in Massachusetts screwed. So, if you're not sure, or if it's your first time, or you're kind of a rookie at it, if you think it's 65 1/4, cut a little bigger. You can always come back, trim a little bit off, trim a little bit off, but you can't put it back on. That's how it goes. Can't do it. Ally McBeal's yelling at me. I'm gonna hit this bad boy with some caulking, and then I'll show you the final product. Well, before paint, anyway, so I'm not painting today. A wet rag is good when you're doing caulking. You can wipe it off your fingers so your fingers are clean, and excess crap you can put in here, and then if you wash it quick enough, you can save the rag. Alright, caulking for all the seams between your trims, all the nail heads, I'm going to use putty, okay? You can use caulking, but it might shrink and then it looks like shit. So you want to use putty, okay? White putty, little open little ball, I'll show you. Jam it in there, wipe it off, and you can sand it later. Looks great. Alright, so this is what I use for caulking. It is DAP Alex Flex Crack Proof, Medium, Flexible, and Adhesion. It is premium molding and trim sealant. Okay, it's got good flow or whatever. So, next, DAP Painter's Putty. Okay, looks like that. Goo. So, pull out a little ball, mush it around, and then take very little and rub it in the holes. Rub it in the holes and then smooth it out with your finger. Okay, sorry for it's so dark in here, but it's early Saturday morning. There's not good lighting in my dog's room. Alright, here's the window. Completed except for the wall, but the window is done. I'll tape that and mud it later. But I just filled all my holes, finished all my caulking. I would recommend you do not paint anything for at least a day, 24 hours, so your caulking gets nice and hard, okay? Anyway, there's my double window frame. Hope this helps somebody out. If you have any questions, leave some comments and I'll try to answer them, especially about, cutting the 45s or anything like that, which there is other videos on my channel about how to cut 45s in certain angles and stuff. So feel free to check out my channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or it helps you out at all.